part 7. It was only his first week. He was a keener, mega keener. He'd bulldozed through a giant list of tasks and was already asking for the next batch of work to chew through. Anything he could get ahead of, anything he could step in for, anything he could learn, he was on it. He wanted to be as helpful as humanly possible. I think the salary of the role for a guy his young age was just too alluring for him. For our part, Melanie and I tried our best to get him to pace himself. We were both giving the spiel now. By this point, we'd more or less perfected it. There are things about this diner that are strange. Rules you will have to follow and not think about. Rules that are concrete, immutable, and non-negotiable, like gravity. He nodded. At that moment, I really believed he was internalizing my words. And if that doesn't work for you, and if you don't think you can take care of yourself, then you shouldn't work here, I continued. There was always a visceral feeling in my stomach whenever I saw the wandering man in the corner during the same week that we were onboarding. New staff? I'm sure Melanie felt it too. On those days, Mel and I would both work the till. And if we saw anyone coming out from the back, we'd stop them with a simple grab of the arm. Malcolm stepped out and I did just that. A rough grasp of his forearm, just like Melanie had done to me when I'd first started. He recoiled in surprise. Remember that little chat about rules we just had? I said. He nodded meekly as if he was already in trouble. I pointed to the man seated at the far table in the brown corduroy shirt, staring straight ahead with what I believed at the time no real reason to be here. And I said, "You will not, under any conditions, serve that man. Don't go up to him, don't talk to him. Pretend he doesn't exist." Malcolm lifted the garbage bag he was holding in his left hand. In my nervousness, I hadn't actually clocked what he was stepping out for. "Just doing garbage duty, ma'am," he said, but understood. And then he left out the front door with his usual swagger. The dumpster wasn't as close as we would have liked, so I appreciated his willingness to take on this duty so soon into his employment. I turned back to observe the wandering man. We had a crowd of agents in attendance that day, scattered about the restaurant. The man wasn't one to speak up often. Today was an interesting exception. "Officers," he said, "if you have any questions, feel free to join me at the table to ask them." The agents around the room reacted mainly with snickers, even more laughs, but no one bit. And yet he continued pointedly. "I know you're curious. I know you take notes. I know you talk about me. I know you built this establishment for me. I know you..." Subscribe for part 8.